Wendy Macpherson never imagined earning over $1 million as a professional bowler. Tonight, with at least a second-place finish, Wendy will become only the second millionaire in PWBA history. Can she do it, or will we have to wait another week? Find out next. Tonight's opener is a three-way shootout between the fifth-place qualifier, Kendra Cameron, the number 4 qualifier, Merienda Ruko, and number 3 this week, Cheryl Daniels. The winner there will face the hottest player on tour this year, Wendy Macpherson. And the winner of that match will take on the top seed, who led by 271 pins, Gianotti-Block. For the third consecutive year, we welcome you inside Tiki Lanes in Lancaster, Ohio this year for the PWBA Finals of the Columbia 300 Open. Hello everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt along with my partner Lisa Wagner. We're glad you're joining us for another record-setting year here at Tiki Lanes. Top story is Wendy Macpherson, and Lisa, tonight she breaks the record for the most TV appearances in a season.
Well, that's right. Tonight is number 13. She hopes it's lucky 13. And there's a few other players to do that. Let's see, you know, there's 12 appearances, but, you know, Wendy has the amazing fact in her favor, only 19 tournaments and 13 appearances. But I have a feeling there's a little bit more to this story.
There certainly is. A year ago, here at Tiki Lanes, Alita Sill became the first woman to reach $1 million in professional earnings. Lisa, can Wendy do it again 1 year later in the same bowling center?
Well, you know, I think she can, because she has to finish first or second in this tournament. There's no third place for Wendy to reach the $1 million plateau. Now, you know, I have a feeling that it's just the perfect time for Wendy. She's the only Columbia staff member in this tournament on the show, and it's a Columbia-sponsored tournament. The story could not be written any better.
Well, we'll watch it unfold. It's not the only story, though. There's another one. It's a comeback story about our top seed, Gianotti-Block. She has been struggling mentally to overcome arm surgery of a year ago.
Well, that's right. You know, everything went Carol Gianotti-Block's way in 1998, but in 1999, everything was just turned around, and she had surgery on her arm, and she's developed a lot of anger from that. And, you know, she found a way to work through that. She's back on top tonight, so watch out.
Well, stay tuned for both of those stories. We're ready for our opening match. It'll be Daniels, DiRupo, and Cameron. Players shaking hands here at the Columbia 300 Open. A three-way shootout match. It's kind of a preview match to our two stories coming up later in this show. Merienda Ruko will be first up. She qualified 4th and had the second choice. And decided she wanted to bowl first. Good opening shot for Marianne. Meanwhile, Cheryl Daniels quickly on the approach. Cheryl was our number 3 qualifier, and she chose to start second. Why, Lisa?
Well, that's right. She had the first choice of anybody, being that she did qualify third. So she chose to start in the right lane because, you know, I watched her in practice, and I don't think that she liked the right lane a whole lot, so she wants to finish on the left lane.
That being Cheryl Daniels, and by her choice she'll do that. Kendra Cameron, qualifying 5th, will start on the left lane, lane 11. Tough opening shot for Kendra Cameron. Cheryl Daniels will attempt to convert the 3-6-10. No problem, though. She chose to hook it at that spare.
Well, yeah, she did pick a ball that, you know, it's going to go pretty straight anyway. These lanes are hooking a little bit right now. So they're going to have a little bit of speed behind it.
Merienda Ruko now stepping up in the second frame. 213.45 average this week. Kind of a medium scoring tournament, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much so. Lanes were kind of in the middle of what we normally look at. Not, you know, not overly high. You couldn't make a mistake too far to the left or right, but, you know, you're seeing Cheryl come up in the second frame.
213.45 average. Also for Cheryl Daniels, if you're wondering what determined who qualified what position, it was the match play bonus pin. Cheryl Daniels 14 and 10, Merienda Ruko 13, 10 and 1. So Cheryl picked up 15 extra bonus pins in there.
That's right, only 15 pins apiece. And a tie, that's it.
Cheryl covering the 9 pin. Kendra Cameron now stepping up in the second frame on lane 12. Was lane 12 hooking more for Cheryl, do you know? Or for any of the players?
Yeah, I definitely think it was. It looked like it was hooking them just a little bit earlier, and for Cheryl, she's going to want the ball to get a little bit longer down the lane, so I think that's why she wanted to finish on the left.
Well, the PWBA heads to ABC West Lanes in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania for the Greater Harrisburg Open, Saturday, October 21st through Thursday, October 26th. The Pro-Ams begin on Saturday the 21st. There's also a special shootout. It's later that evening. For tournament and Pro-Am information, contact Jeff Kohler at 717-766-7601. Merienda Ruko in the lead by 1 pin over Cheryl Daniels as she steps up in the third frame on lane 11, where she struck in the first frame. Pro-Ams are held every week at every tournament. They had a big Pro-Am here at the Columbia 300 Open. 2 years since Merienda Ruko won a title. That was right here.
That's right. But you know what? Last year, she was second here.
She likes the center and gets on a roll in many centers like that. Marianne's been known for doing that. Cheryl Daniels now up in the third frame. And she just can't get the ball down the lane on lane 12.
Well, right now, unfortunately, that looks like it may be the case on with everybody right now. It's going to be hard to get the ball down the lane. They're hooking a good bit more than they had been early in the week.
So do you think we may see some players scrambling to change bowling balls?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, it's a scary situation because, you know, if you're on the show, you know, what do? You know, it's kind of like qualifying. You got 6 games, you know, and in your block, you got 8 games in your match play block. On the show, you got 1 game. Do it now or leave.
Well, there's a big strike, a double for Kendra Cameron to get her right back into this match. She's a pretty animated player. Merienda Ruko, though, still up by 1 pin. That now 1 pin over Kendra Cameron. Very, very tight match. Marianne with a strike in the fourth, and Cheryl Daniels up very quickly. She usually takes a bit more time than this.
Except on TV shows where, you know, she knows that she has to get the job done. So she's going to get up there and has her game plan already set. So it's on the lane for Cheryl.
Kendra Cameron on a double as she steps up in the fourth. If she would strike here, she can take the lead.
Uh-oh.
Heard her, uh-oh. She knew when she set that one down. A washout for Kendra.
Well, she did say hang out a little bit, and that was saying hang out. She did not want to leave a washout, and that's exactly, unfortunately, what she did. You're going to see the ball hook up just behind the head pin a little bit. 6 pin goes in the channel, then hit the 10.
Well, she doesn't get that spare. Merienda Ruko is in the lead through 4 frames. We'll be right back with more of the Columbia 300 Open. Merienda Ruko leads by 38 pins here in our opening shootout match. While we were away, disaster struck for Cheryl Daniels and Kendra Cameron. Lisa, it is ugly out there. These players average 2 teams during the week. What do you see going on?
Well, possibly what's going on right now is a little bit of transition on the lanes. Oil may be carrying down a little bit and maybe moving left, maybe moving right, because, you know, we have 3 players and 2 that practiced on this pair a little bit earlier, which was Wendy and Carol. So oil may be moving a little bit differently than we've seen during the week. So right now I see him hooking a lot.
Yeah, it looks like a lot more hook than you saw throughout the week.
That's right, but if they force it down the lane, it's going to go right through the break point. So it's very touchy right now. So we're going to see the person that can keep it on the line the straightest and definitely most accurate player right now is going to go through.
Cheryl covering up the spare. It's definitely a survival match. Merienda Ruko threw a couple strikes in there and has been able to stay clean, which has afforded her a 39-pin lead. Kendra Cameron up in the 8th frame. She changed balls 2 frames ago, did strike once, but wasn't successful on lane 11.
That's right, you know, and I did say most accurate, and I have to say right now Kendra is probably one of the most accurate players on tour. She is just bowling magnificently lately. She had the last 2 weeks she's finished 6th and 8th, and has been knocking on the door on the TV show and made it this week, but she's been bowling great.
And there was a sample of what you just said. If you force it down the lane, it's not going to recover.
That's right, right through the break point for Marianne, 1-2-4-8.
Maximum score for Cheryl Daniels, the most she could get, and that would mean she'd have to strike out, and she has no strikes yet. You know, you feel bad for the players who bowled so well all week. They just haven't been able to figure out what's out there on the lanes.
Well, you know, it's one of those things, it does happen. It happens, you know, and it's just one of those things where you got to deal with it, and you get the most that you can, and you make the best of what you got.
So for those of you at home and you go on a league night and you have a different pattern down and you can't quite hit it and score on it, remember how gracious these ladies were on national television hitting a pattern that was so tough for them to score on.
Hey, I think I figured it out.
She figured it out. All right.
I couldn't shoot under 140.
Marianne stepping up in the 10th frame, still clean. She has a possible max score of 213. And she probably won't be clean after that frame, but it should be enough. Best Kendra Cameron could shoot would be 187, so Merienda Ruko needs one of these pins to close out this match.
Well, right now, Marianne is checking that score out.
She did. She does need one.
Yeah.
We'll give her 188, and no one could touch her.
That's right. Well, sailing by this one.
And that'll be enough. Merienda Ruko survives the opener to move on. But first, when we come back, a look at what WIBC is doing to help the fight against breast cancer. Talking with all the ladies and promoting the Women's International Bowling Congress. Final score of match 1, DiRupo 189 to Daniels 163 and Cameron's 149. That victory means that Merienda Ruko will be the one to try to shatter Macpherson's $1 million hopes. That'll be next. If you've been wondering how to get involved with the PWBA, the answer is to join the PWBA Bowlers Club. For $29.95, you'll receive a logo desk clock, a semi-annual newsletter, plus you'll be entered in daily drawings of $100, Friday drawings of $200, and have a chance at 2 $5,000 drawings. Visit www.pwba.com or call 1-800-426-8823 to sign up now. We're ready for the semifinal match of the Columbia 300 Open here at Tiki Lanes in Lancaster, Ohio. I'm Jan Schmidt along with Lisa Wagner. Merienda Ruko will be first up in this match. Lisa, we're at the cover. We're going to open it up and see how this story unfolds. It was Wendy's choice, and she has chosen to make Marianne start. Still in the pocket. Marianne seemed to be one of the few able to get there in that first match, although Kendra Cameron found it later on in the match.
Marianne right now being very aggressive to the pocket, and I think that's what you're going to need right now. Change into a spare ball, as we've seen in probably every show this year. Somebody changes to a spare ball to shoot a 10-pin.
And they do that? Why?
Well, we want the least amount of hook going at that pin, and that's going to give you the greatest amount of mistake area. So you don't want that. You don't want that ball that you're throwing first hooking away.
Here's Wendy's opening shot in her attempt to win just one match to break the $1 million plateau. 4-pin in the pocket. That's a good opening match.
Right, a lot of movement on that shot. A lot of movement. Watch this ball get down the lane about halfway, a little bit more than halfway. It's going to make a left turn right here going into the pocket, leaving a 4-pin. Easy spare for Wendy. Oh. And just as I said, it was an easy spare for Wendy. You know, we did talk about lanes are moving just a little bit. She did go to a spare ball. This ball is supposed to go right straight up and at him. And it went right straight up and at him at about the 7-pin, which is a little, you know, a few inches to the left, unfortunately.
And most of the spare balls they're going to are usually a plastic shell?
That's right. Yes, they're plastic to, you know, a very, very hard urethane ball that gets down the lane a long way. It's just not going to hook a whole lot.
Well, do you think she's having any jitters over trying to get to that million right now?
Well, you know, I'd say a little bit of jitters, definitely, because she has to stay firm right now. And right now, aggressive is the style. But, you know, through 2 frames, you know, we never know. But I also think that the ball choice is pretty important right now, too.
6 TV appearances for Merienda Ruko, 19 cashes. Those earnings do not include this week, of course. She's not done, but she's had a really good year, just is not winning. She made 18 of the cuts out of 19.
That's right. Her lowest finish this year is 26th. And that's in just one tournament that she failed to qualify for the top 24.
And she told us she's basically pleased. She just obviously would like to win.
Well, yeah, hadn't won in 2 years. So she's tired of finishing second.
Oh, and we saw that in the first match once on a Marianne, but she didn't wash out.
Well, that's right. You know, Jan, right now it's right back at you, Wendy. I'm going to throw it right through the break point, leaving a washout. Watch this ball just go dead straight through the break point, never hooking in the back end at all. 1, 2, 8, 10. Got to get the ball left of the head pin. Not, almost.
Oh. Wow. Thing came out of the back and tried to knock it over.
I was going to say, you know, send the headpin over into the 10. Well, out of the back.
Or out of the back.
Via out of the back.
Yeah, you just missed that little detour construction. There we go. Wendy Macpherson with a strike in the 3rd frame. Little bit of a smile, and she told us earlier, talked to Lisa about how important this night was to her. So is she nervous? I think we'll hear that a little later. She had an interesting comment. We hope we can bring that to you. Right now she's stepping up in the 4th frame, strike up in the 3rd.
Well, I think Wendy right now, you know, she wants to get going. She wants to get this match going. She has to be aggressive right now, so she's going to get up and throw it.
And she threw it all right, so it's all even right here, and we'll be back in a moment with more from Tiki Lanes. We're back in the middle of the semifinal match of the Columbia 300 Open. While we were away, Wendy Macpherson moved up a little bit, but here's her career highlights. 1986 U.S. Open as an 18-year-old amateur. Reached $100,000 in '89.
Oh, and reached $500,000 with a merit mixed doubles victory with Walter Ray Williams Jr. Look at that, bowler of the year, 3 years, 96, 97, 99, and the bowler of the decade in the 1990s. She's done it all.
And Lisa, little birdie told me that she defeated a veteran player en route to that U.S. Open victory. Would that be you?
Yeah, I was on the show. I lost to her.
Well, We're going to let Wendy tell us now how important this night is for her.
Well, you know, Lisa, I'm just starting to get a little nervous about tonight. This is a big, big night for me. I have a chance to be a representative of Columbia 300, this being a Columbia 300 tournament. And I'm so proud to have made the telecast this evening. Also have a chance to go over $1 million. I need to win my first match. So it's a big night for me for a lot of reasons.
And she is turning page after page of this story, now throwing 6 strikes in a row to take a 44-pin lead in this match. She's through 8 frames. Merienda Ruko will be stepping up in the 8th frame. She can take it back to 34 pins if she strikes.
Right now, Marianne taking a re-rack. Didn't like the way the pins were set up. This is a must-strike for Marianne in the 8th frame. But could be why she took the re-rack. She wants everything to be perfect.
And perfect it was. So it's a 34-pin match through 8 frames.
Staying in the match. Look at this. Look at Marianne, how deep that knee bend is. She has great extension through the shot, getting great direction right in the pocket for a 34-pin lead, or 34-pin for deficit for Marianne, I'm sorry.
Her max score 224 if she strikes in the 9th and 10th frames, and she's going to need every bit of that to force Wendy to stay clean and get big counts, and that's going to hurt.
Same exact thing that we saw in the 3rd frame from Marianne, just going right through the break point. You know, if you force it right now, it's going right through the break point.
And again, what she tried to do last time, off the back wall.
Well, this is the same exact thing that happened to her last frame in the 3rd frame, only this time she got the little tap out of the back from the head pin.
Well, this time the head pin followed the detour signs, got to the right place. Wendy Macpherson now up in the 9th frame, and she has all but secured her $1 million. How remarkable is this, Lisa? Who would think it could happen 2 years in a row in the same bowling center?
Well, look at the smile on Wendy's face right now. That kind of says what it's all about. That reaction right there told us the whole story. She knows. You saw that little grin from Wendy? She knew that she's not finishing any lower than 2nd. That's $1 million in career earnings. Minimum.
Right. She says, go ahead, leave that 8-pin now. I can smile at it. It's fun to be able to do that. What a relief it must be for her. She wanted to do it so badly here in this Columbia tournament.
Well, you know, she's such a versatile player. And we've seen her bowl, you know, this is her 13th show, and we've seen her bowl on just about everything that there is to play on. We've seen her, you know, tight. We've seen her hook it. We've seen, you know, different ball reactions. And this is the culmination right here. $1 million plus.
Well, Wendy Macpherson just surpassed the $1 million in career earnings mark with that victory. We'll recap all the scores when we return. Last year, Kathy Doran thrilled the crowds at Princess Lanes, winning her first professional title in the Three Rivers Open. Will history repeat itself? Find out next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern as ESPN2 brings you the finals of the Three Rivers Open. So Friday night, the opening match was a survival test, and Merienda Ruko passed, defeating Daniels and Cameron 189 to 163 and 149. In match 2, who wants to be a millionaire? Wendy Macpherson, that's who. She threw 7 strikes in a row to defeat DiRupo 237 to 177. Coming up next, the championship match between the roomies, Macpherson and top seed Carol Gianotti-Block. Keep it tuned to ESPN2. Media coverage was great here in Lancaster, Ohio. We were on the front page of the sports sections all week long. Thank you to all the print media. This is the trophy that Wendy Macpherson and Cheryl Gianotti-Block will be fighting for. Columbia 300 Open Championship match. Tiki Lanes in Lancaster, Ohio.
Roommates right here.
Roommates, friends, traveling companions, and they've basically dominated the tour the last 4 years. The only year Wendy wasn't Bowler of the Year, Cheryl Gianotti-Block was Bowler of the Year. Great opening shot for Wendy. I didn't know if she'd have a letdown after already breaking the million. That was really what she was striving for. You have to regroup and, okay, now I'm going for a title. First look at Cheryl Gianotti-Block tonight. 32 years old, 14 titles for this lady. Oh, come on. That is not the way you want to start the championship match.
Well, that's just plain not fair. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, this ball's right in the pocket, and we're going to see a 7-10. The 5-pin just goes right behind it. The head pin goes right in front of it. Now she has 8-1. Or 8-0, depending on how you want to look at it.
Well, she's going to have to regroup. Some of the other finishers this week, Michelle Feldman, 3 titles already this year. She just missed out. Julie Jackson just upgraded to a national membership status. She's doing great out here on tour.
That's right. In 12th, Carolyn Doran Ballard, she was a winner here last year.
Cheryl Gianotti-Block quickly wanted to recover from that 7-10. Got up and threw a strike very quick in the second frame. Almost missed her. She's a fast bowler.
Well, that's right. She knows exactly what she wants to do when she steps up to the approach, and is going to get the job done.
Fall swing for Wendy Macpherson. Quite a few third-place finishes there, and a 14th and a 5th.
Well, you know, it's pretty indicative of her whole year. I mean, she just hasn't finished too low all year. She's only been, I think, out of the finals once, maybe? One
time.
Once.
She had a 45th place finish one time.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Going to see her last shot right here, leaving the 3-6-10. The ball getting down the lane. Hooking a bit too much. You know, got to stay aggressive on this condition.
Covers the spare, and I was wondering, because Wendy told us last night, at least in our discussions with her, that she only had 2 games last night under 200. They were both against Cheryl Gianotti, and she left 3 4-9s. They were all against Cheryl Gianotti. So she said Cheryl was her bad luck charm last night.
Well, I think she described her as her black cloud.
That was it. That was the terminology she used.
Well, and here they are in the title match, so we'll see what happens for the last 8 frames.
Wendy right back out with a strike on lane 11. I want to take a moment for a big thank you on behalf of the PWBA and its members to the Lancaster WBA, the Women's Bowling Association. They had a huge staff on hand here helping out with the tournament all week. Thank you, ladies, and we hope to see you next year. You know, there was no emotion on her face.
Well, we're going to see, look at that ball going a little bit high. Let's see Carol's reaction on this. Just about left the 9-pin. That's what she's been working on. And she said that she has had a lot of anger building up in her. Things just haven't gone, you know, her comeback just hasn't gone quite the way she wanted to. And a little bit of anger building up. So she's working on a few things, and it certainly helped her because she got to the top spot here.
Well, Wendy, you saw earlier, was Bowler of the Year 96, 97, and 99, but this is perhaps her best year of her career. She made 7 shows in 96, 12 in 97, and 9 in 99. 13 already this year and 2 titles. It's a huge year for her, for any player it would be. Sent that one way wide.
That's right. She's got to battle a little bit of nerves right here. Got to battle a little bit. Sent this one way right. Look at that. Getting out to the 4th board, it looks like. not quite making the turn, left a 2-8. She's going to use the same ball. She's going to go fairly straight at it, but let a little bit of hook at the end come in and make it.
A few other finishers this week. Jennifer Swanson, 13 cashes this year. Linda Barnes, happy birthday. She had a birthday early this week.
And in 21st, Liz Johnson. She's former collegiate player of the year. And 23rd, no relation, Lilia Johnson. Born in the Philippines, she has 2 regional titles on tour.
Nice to see Lil back into the top 24. She has really worked hard to turn her game around. Wendy Macpherson now up in the 5th frame. Going high, leaving a 6-10.
Well, getting a little bit anxious right here. We've only bowled half the match, and, you know, she's in the position right now where, you know, she's a Columbia staff member in a Columbia tournament. She's already got the million. She wants it all now. We got to bowl the first 5 frames before we can bowl the last 5. So, getting a little bit anxious, hitting up on it just a little bit, and bowling her black cloud.
That's true, but staying clean so far.
That's right.
Giving herself a chance to stay in the match. Carol Gianotti told us she would be nervous, and she was really going to work hard on some breathing techniques from Dr. Eric Lasser. She could hopefully control those nerves.
Well, that's right. He's a sports psychologist. I've spoken with him myself, and what a great help he is. And a lot of our players out here do speak with him. She's working on quite a few things. She wants to get rid of all the negative thoughts. And I think thought processes out here are a very big key.
Well, Lisa asked Carol about what she has to overcome. Here's what she told us.
Yeah, I had surgery last year, and ever since then it's been very tough. I mean, I've had a lot of angerness in me, a lot of self-doubt. I've been throwing the ball again, and my confidence level has been down, and a lot of negatives, which I'm not used to. So it's been great this week that I've overcome that, and hopefully I'm on the road back.
She's on the road back right now, leads by 7 pins in the championship match. Wants to say a big thank you to her brother Mark, who came out last week and spent all week and this week with her, and will remain with her all swing, and she said he kept her going. That's a long trip.
That's right, yeah. Halfway around the world. Saw a wall shot there on in Carol's 6th frame, so gave her a little bit of a lead, about a 7-pin lead.
Exactly 7 pins, very close match here. It'll be 8 pins with that 9 count. Wendy will be trailing Carol Gianotti-Block if she spares here by 8 pins.
This is Wendy's last shot, leaving a 2-pin. Getting out about the same place as she did last time, where she left 2-8. This time, coming back, but got the 8-pin out, thank goodness.
Leaving herself an easy spare, and I'll say that now after she converts it. Wendy told us she's just taking one day at a time, that she can't let up or they'll pass her by. You know, I run like this since '96. I mean, that's tough mentally. Has to be. There is a pin rolling around on the lane, out on lane 12 right now, and coming right at you in your homes.
That would be the 2-pin that she just converted in the 6th frame.
And we're going to pause a moment. They're needing to go down and get that pin off the lanes. Wendy is waiting so she doesn't get distracted. But this kind of a run, Lisa, for 4 years, I can't relate. I know you can from the 80s, but tough to stay focused mentally for that long.
Well, it is, and when you're looking at 13 shows in just 19 events, that's almost 70% of television shows made, and that's incredible. What in any other sport, I'm telling you, that is just top headline news.
Well, while we're trying to figure out the pin issues here, we'll be back. We'll take a break. Be right back with the rest of this title match. We're back in the championship frame here at the Columbia 300 Open. While we were away, Wendy Macpherson spared in the 7th while they took care of some loose pin issues. Carol Gianotti-Block up in the 7th, was working on a strike. leaving the 2-4-5 coming up light.
Well, Carol's got a guard against chopping this. She did leave the 2-4-5. Ball, look at that, going a little bit too far down the lane. Head pin just not taken out. Anything just a little bit to the right of it. Great spare shot in a tough situation.
She looks either a little confused or a little uncomfortable. You see her trying to dry her hand. Definitely a puzzled look, but she does lead by 9 pins after that open frame in the first. She's been able to keep it clean. And that 3-bagger has afforded her a 9-pin lead as she steps up in the 8th frame.
Well, she did tell us yesterday that she would be nervous in this match, and that she's going to be working on a few things, especially some breathing techniques that she used, and I think that's real important for all athletes.
I know you work a lot on that.
Yes, I do. You have to, because it, you know, it slows your heart rate down, lets you think a little bit more.
These matches go so fast.
Wendy's max score, 226. That's if she strikes out in the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Ball just jumping on the nose for Wendy right now, and she was so lined up in that last game. Are you seeing changes, or do you think she's just being a little less aggressive?
I think she's hitting up on it just a little bit, actually. You know, Wendy's real good at getting the ball down the lane and getting it long down the lane. And I think right now she has to go a little bit long with it and not hit up on the ball so late at the release. And I think that's where we're going to have to see her make a couple of changes.
Wendy Macpherson trailing now by 11 pins as she steps up in the 9th, a big setup frame. She really needs to strike here. Carol Gianotti-Block working on that 8th frame strike.
Well, like you said, this is definitely a very big frame. 214 max right now.
Oh! She didn't even know it fell. She's like, how did it fall?
Well, she definitely thought she left a ring in 10 on this shot. Look at this. Watch the 6 pin.
Must have just tapped the back of it.
Well, I think that's the fat part of the pin, hitting the fat part of the pin right there and knocking it forward. No doubt on that one, though.
You know, Carol Gianotti-Block with the big answer to keep that lead and increase it to 21 pins. Max score 235 if she strikes out in the 10th.
And talk about big shots. This is a huge one for Carol. Taking no time, getting right up and throwing.
She really needed to strike or 9 spare strike to make sure she was still in this match.
Well, she's definitely left the door open for Wendy.
She has. If she spare strikes, she'll shoot 213. Wendy Macpherson can strike out for 214. So it's all going to be in Wendy's hands. But first things first, Carol needs to make this spare.
Well, fill balls are always important, and this is a very big one. Well, shaking her head just a little bit, but got to make sure you get all 10 on this one, Carol, because this is a big shot.
Eight pins for a score of 211, so Wendy Macpherson will need a double and 8 pins to take it all tonight, to take the record for 13 appearances in the season, to take the $1 million, the second woman there, and to take the title. Double and 8 pins. Oh my, what a pretty shot that was.
Yes, it was. Remember what I said about not hitting up on it? She did not hit up on this one at all. Look at this, saved all the energy to the back end. The ball coming into the pocket in about the last few feet, about the last 5 or 6 feet. And that's the look you want to have right now. Don't hit up on it. Save that energy to the back end.
And not to be, coming up high, and Carol can't even look. Carol is overcome with emotion. Carol Gianotti-Block. So Wendy Macpherson gets a lot done, but doesn't win the title. Carol Gianotti-Block is the champion of the Columbia 300 Open. There's more to come from Lancaster, Ohio, so stay with us. There is your champion of the Columbia 300 Open, Carol Gianotti-Block. Final score 211 to 198. And in with the check is Greg Russell, the general manager at Tiki Lanes.
Carol, on behalf of everyone here at Tiki Lanes on the PWBA, I want to congratulate you and present you with this check for $14,400. Congratulations. It's been an excellent week.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you.
And I know Carol's waiting for a beautiful crystal trophy from Connie Smoot, the Vice President of International Sales of Columbia 300.
Carol, on behalf of the Columbia family of bowling, I'm very happy to and pleased to present you with another trophy. This isn't the first time, and I hope you like it.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Greg and Wendy for putting on a great tournament this week, and all the staff, and of course Columbia. I mean, they're part of track as well, and it's nice to keep it in the family. But thanks for all the sponsorship of all the year. Thank you.
Well, and there's another award. Judy Hood of Dunkin' Diamonds is coming in, along with your roommate, Wendy Macpherson.
We have a gift for Wendy also for reaching the $1 million mark.
Thank you very much. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Thank you very much. It's been a big thrill, and thank you, Greg and Tiki Lanes, and thank you, Columbia, so much for allowing me to be part of your staff. And also like to congratulate Carol. This was a big night for me, a big milestone, and I know tonight's victory for her was a big milestone, so thank you.
Congratulations, Wendy. Lisa, do you have a question for Carol Gianotti here?
Well, absolutely. Carol, I know tonight was a very big victory for you. What exactly does this mean for your career?
It's just given me a lot more confidence, you know, mentally, you know, mainly. It's given me, and hopefully, you know, it's a start in the new direction and everything. But I'm just very pleased. But most of all, I'd just like to congratulate Wendy on a great defeat, reaching $1 million. I mean, there's only 2 women, and she's a great friend and a roommate, and she deserves every bit of it.
How did you feel in that 10th frame?
Don't ask. I'm always nervous, but I tell you what, it was very hard to bowl. I never get that nervous, and it was very, very hard. I mean, I couldn't even throw the ball. I mean, I was shaking all the way up there.
Well, you threw it and you won. Congratulations again to Carol Gianotti-Block as she becomes the 3rd champion at Tiki Lanes, and it's her 16th career title. Tune in next Monday night to see if Kathy Doran will be the queen of Princess Lanes once again as we bring you the Three Rivers Open from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's Monday, October 23rd at 8 p.m. For Lisa Wagner, I'm Jan Schmidt. We hope you enjoyed all the records falling so long from Lancaster, Ohio. We'll see you next week. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.